rolling, check. Come and stay on the hardwood. Pump bacon, lip shaking, chillin' with. I be rolling out. Off the hardwood, straight.
Coming up, we talk to Raptors sharpshooter Dell Curry and his family about his lengthy NBA career, being drafted into 2 different pro sports leagues, and his reputation as a team prankster.
If you wore this sweatsuit into the locker room, you would be the joke for about 2 days.
Off the hardwood. Off the hardwood.
Welcome to another edition of Off the Hardwood. I'm your host, Paul Jones, and today we sit down with the Curry clan, all of them.
We're all here.
All here. And before I get going or I say anything, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. And maybe we'll go from youngest to eldest.
Okay.
Sadell.
Stefan.
Seth.
Sonia.
And I'm Dell.
Now, I don't know if that's the way it works in terms of youngest to eldest with the adults too. How'd the two of you meet?
We met in college way back when, about 16 years ago at Virginia Tech, and it was all over. She chased me all over campus.
Now, is that the truth, Sonia? Do we have the truth there?
Absolutely not. No. Actually, Dell's coach at the time, an assistant coach, had scouted me out for him and did some little matchmaking, and I invited him, or he invited himself to one of my volleyball games, and the rest is history.
Okay, well, with the whole clan here, let's talk about moving around the good old US of A and eventually up to Canada. 5 different stops around the NBA in 15 years in 2 different countries. Likes, dislikes, let's leave Toronto out of this for now because I don't want to bias the answer, but what's been the best place that you've been to?
Well, I think I went from some of the toughest cities to one of the best where I am now. I started in Utah, which is a different place. Where back in '86, it was definitely a different place for a guy right out of college. Then I went to Cleveland, played for Coach Wilkins for a year. Then we had the expansion draft, and I was the first pick of the Charlotte Hornets, where I stayed for 10 years, and that was really a blessing. I was close to home, my family members, 4 hours away, so I stayed there for 10 years and had a lot of fun.
Sonia, with 3 children, and I know a mom's work is never done, how difficult has it been moving, going from place to place, from Cleveland to Charlotte, out in Utah? How difficult has it been for you?
Actually, I think because we were so young when it happened, I actually spent probably about 2 or 3 months in Utah with Dell his second year before he got traded to Cleveland. So that was an experience for me because one night he's there and he gets a call at home. We're sitting there in the evening. Next thing you know, he's heading off the next morning from Utah to Cleveland, and I'm going, what about me? So I learned quickly how things operate on this level. So from there, going to Cleveland, I was pregnant with Stefan at the time, and he was born actually in Akron, Ohio. And then he was born in March, and then in the spring we moved home because he got picked up by Charlotte. So for me, it's just been packing up and going. It really hasn't been that much of an issue for us at all.
Well, how much do you have to support Dell when, I know it's not easy being traded because part of it is somebody doesn't want you, but the other part is somebody wants you really badly. Sonia, how do you support Dell with something like that?
Actually, one of the things with Dell and going to places that he's going has truly been wanting him to be happy. Dell looks at more than just money. He also looks at the coaches that he's going to have, the players that he's going to join. And so I just support him in that. If he's going to be happy, we pack up and go along with him. And I try to take care of the home and children and finding schools so that he doesn't have to spend that much energy or time worrying about that.
Steph, you're the oldest one. How do you handle getting up and moving? Your latest move when your dad left Milwaukee and came to Toronto. How did you handle that?
I liked it a lot. He was in Milwaukee. We didn't get to see him a lot, so when he came to Toronto, we traveled here often, and we got to see him probably like twice a month, and that was a lot more than we did in Milwaukee, so it was better.
Is it hard with a family like this to pick up and go, and knowing that Dad has been moved somewhere else, and you live in place A, he's in place B, and will be moving to C, D, E, and F, and might only get back once in a while? How difficult is that?
It's real difficult, especially when your children get to the ages that my children are now, because they have their own lives. Each one of them are involved in different activities, very competitive activities as well. And so you not only have school schedules, you have special activity schedules that you have to go with, and you have Dell's schedule. So you have to look at everyone's schedule and say, when can we all go to see Daddy? And so I think that's the biggest challenge of all.
Could you offer any advice, either of you, to somebody who's just kind of starting out in the league, and it looks like they might become somebody like Dell, who's a real specialist, who's wanted and coveted by a number of teams, and that may have to get up and move around? Is there any advice that you could give them?
Well, you just have to have patience and realize that comes with your job. Again, I have excellent family base. My wife's a very strong person, and I don't feel worried at all when I have to leave home. I know that she's able to take care of things.
One of the things that we have done in the past is we have put off being with him when he's been moved because the children were engaged in activities and everything. And if I had to do it all over again, I would put my family first because there's always times for activities, and you can always find different places to put your children in activities. And you can also look at it from a positive aspect is that the children will be exposed to a variety of different people and lifestyles as well. But you lose time being together as a family. And one of the reasons why we made the choice this year is because as they've gotten older, they miss being with their father. So for those wives and who are debating, should I go with my husband or not go with their husband, I'm all for going so that you won't ever regret not having that time together.
How was it coming to Canada? When you heard you were coming, well, I mean, you made the deal in Toronto. We're going to get into that later. How was it coming to Canada? What did you think? Oh my God, we're going to another country. What did you think?
Well, I playing for other teams, when Toronto was in the league, I'd been to the city before and knew it was a great city. It was just cold, and that's something that you'd have to deal with. So I was excited about coming here myself.
And Seth, what about you? We talked to your big brother talked about being able to see your dad a lot. What did you think about when you heard you were going to another country?
I don't know. I just heard that Canada in Toronto had like a lot of stuff to see, like the CN Tower stuff. So.
Do you worry about making friends at all, Seth?
Not really.
Not really? Steph, what about you? You're older. What do you worry about making friends and leaving your friends at other places?
Well, it was hard leaving my friends, but I made good friends while I was here, and I know it's going to be when we have to leave again, if we do. It's going to be hard to leave them, but I'll be going back to the friends I had before.
Now, he's not telling us something that we don't know. You're not planning on leaving here right now, are you?
I hope not. No, I really like it here, and having my family up with me this year for the first time has really helped things out a lot. And I think they like Canada. My kids have made a great adjustment to school. Like my son said, they made new friends. They're on basketball club teams, taking instrument lessons, so they're having fun.
And what about little Miss here? What's her strength? We're going to talk about these two guys in a second. What's your strength, Adele? What do you like to do?
Just like go to the CN Tower and
play with her dogs.
All right, well, it hasn't always been basketball for Dell Curry. When we come back, we're going to talk about another phase of his athletic career, which some of you may not know about. Stay with us.
In the back of my mind, I knew that in 4 or 5 years, if I didn't have what it took to make it in the NBA, I still had a chance to go back and play baseball. So it was always there, but I just never needed it.
Antonio Davis almost lost it. Dell Curry left alone and cans it. Three-pointer from Dell Curry.
Welcome back to Off the Hardwood. I'm Paul Jones, and we are here with the Curry clan today. And Dell, it wasn't always basketball. I understand that you were pretty fair at another sport too, involving our little round ball.
Yeah, I played baseball. That was the first sport that I played. My dad was a big baseball guy, and he introduced that to me first. And I got drafted out of high school by Texas Rangers. I went to Virginia Tech with the understanding that I was going to play both. My freshman year, I came down with mononucleosis. The end of my basketball season, wasn't able to play. My sophomore year, I went to the Olympic trials and missed the season. I played my junior year, was 6-1. The game I lost, I threw a bunted ball into the parking lot, lost 3-2. But was drafted by the Orioles my junior year, but decided to stay in school and get my degree and try basketball.
Did you ever think that you'd have this much longevity in basketball as opposed to baseball? Because many guys make that decision based on, I can play baseball longer than I can play basketball.
Well, my decision was in baseball, number one, I'd have to leave school. They wanted me to leave school, and I knew I had to go through rookie leagues, single A, double A to get to the major leagues. And also, I didn't think I'd have the longevity I've had. When I came in the league in '86, the average length of a player was 4 years. And my goal was to double that to 8, but this is my 16th.
Yeah,
so
you're doubling up everything.
So I'm really blessed to have played this long and want to play as long as I can.
Now I got to ask the guys, Steph and Seth, do you play baseball at all, knowing that your dad used to play with the glove and the ball? How much do you guys play baseball?
We played baseball a lot when we were in Charlotte. Played for about 4 or 5 years, and never got into pitching, but played everything else. And I liked it, but I was more interested in basketball at the time. So
why?
It was more my sport, kind of. I had more. I was kind of better at it. It's basketball, and I wanted to practice some more on it and try to make it to the pros if I have a chance.
Did you ever think after the first couple of years in the NBA, when you went, Utah, Cleveland, picked up by an expansion team, did you ever think, maybe I'm going to leave basketball? Because guys have done it, left basketball and gone to baseball. Did you ever think that might be a possibility?
Well, in the back of my mind, I wanted to give basketball an all-out shot, but in the back of my mind, I knew that in 4 or 5 years, if I didn't have what it took to make it in the NBA, I still had a chance to go back and play baseball. So it was always there, but I just never needed it.
Now, at what point during your basketball career, did you start to think about work outside of athletics? Because I know you've got a foundation, which is fabulous.
Well, just being in the Charlotte community for 10 years and seeing young kids not have the privileges of some of the other kids, I decided to do what I can to help. When I was growing up, I had people help me. And as an NBA player, a professional athlete, I think it's your responsibility to try to give back to the community as much as you can. So I started a foundation there. We have a golf tournament, a high school tournament, which Eastern Commerce from Toronto played in this past year. We have a Christmas tournament every year. And we have some other events that help support the foundation, and we've opened up a couple computer learning centers. You know how important the computer world is today, and if kids don't have an ability to go get on a computer and learn what it's all about, they're kind of not on the same playing level as other kids. So I just try to help it as much as I can.
Sonia, what's your role in the foundation and all the things that the Curry Foundation has established? What's your role in that?
Basically, my role has been a little low-key, and just really going to events and supporting Dell on the days of events and things like that, and helping out with some manual power. But that's basically it, because I also run my school, so my time is a little bit limited as well.
Now, you talk about your school before we get to you, Dell. What's involved in that?
I must say our school.
Okay.
It's a Montessori school. We have ages 15 months through 6th grade. We have 170 students right now, and I'm the head of school. And this year I've been truly blessed with a great staff so that I could be here in Toronto and go back once a month and really perform my duties there as well.
Dad was going to chime in with something.
I was going to say, I'm really proud of her. She started the school from scratch. Our kids was in Montessori school, and she's always been one not to lay around the house and wait for me to come home. So she started school from scratch, and now it's, like I say, it's in her 6th year, 170 kids and doing well. So
to the three of you, Dell, Steph, and Seth, tell me about homework time at home, knowing how mom is into school. You guys, tell me about homework time at home. Is it tough?
Well, there's no slacking. Of course. She's always on us about it, and she expects a lot of good grades and a lot of good effort into it. So
It's the effort that counts. What about you, Seth? Do you ever try to get away with stuff or try to get out of homework here or there?
Yeah, every kid does.
This guy's acting like he's shy, man. Wait till the camera goes off. Yeah, wait till you get that ball in his hand, and you'll see how shy he is.
Well, one of the things we did talk about was the fact that both guys are into basketball, and Dad hopes you'll be into baseball a little bit. When we come back, we're going to put the Curry boys out on the floor, and some of you may have seen them at games doing their stuff. We'll see them here when we get back. Stay with us.
Time now for our Off the Hardwood Raptors trivia. Last week's question was, which two Raptor players have won gold medals as part of the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team? The answer, Vince Carter and Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem won it in 1996 in Atlanta. Vince Carter won his gold medal 2 years ago in Sydney. This week's question is, how many different NBA teams has Dell Curry played for in his 16-year career? Send your answers to us at offthehardwood@torontoraptors.com. Off the Hardwood trivia winners will receive official Jerome Junkyard Dog Williams clothing.
He said, I have a great sense of humor, so he truly believes that. And, you know, a lot of guys, they, you know, when I see them, they're always cracking and joking, and Dale's always in the middle of all of that.
One of the classiest athletes you will meet in or out of the association, and when his playing days are over, they should find a place for people like Dell Curry.
Oh, I'm sure you will see him involved with some.
Welcome back, and we're told that the apple doesn't often fall very far from the tree. Now, we hear that the Curry boys can really shoot the ball just like Dad. I guess they got a good teacher. So
Yeah.
how much do you work with your kids basketball?
Well, when they first started, I worked on them as far as their fundamentals and mechanics, but now they just get in the backyard and turn the light on when it's dark, and often we got to call them in. So they would do a lot of work on their own.
Big block there from the Hornets. One in the shot. Dell Curry. Oh, what a shot by Dell Curry baseline.
Dell, in terms of your own career, where has the most growth occurred?
The most probably was in Charlotte, without a doubt, but I learned a lot in my second year in the league under Coach Wilkins, really getting a chance to play a lot there. And then going to Charlotte is when I got a chance to really play and show my skills. And being in one place for 10 years was really blessed.
Now, let's move over to the other side and let these guys keep doing their thing over here. You talk about being in Charlotte, and is it ironic for you that your career high, and I remember the night because I was there, November 2nd, 96. Is it ironic that your career high from a number of points is against Toronto?
Yeah,
do you remember that game?
I remember it well, yeah. And Chuck, our trainer, Chuck Mooney, said that's probably one of the reasons why they brought me here, because I used to kill the Raptors a lot.
Dell, your career, you talked about the longevity and how much time you've had in the league and how blessed you are. What's ahead for you? What comes next?
Well, like I said, Paul, I want to play. I've really been taking care of my body and hadn't had any serious injuries, so I want to continue to play as long as I can contribute and help the team. Not a lot of guys can play as many years as I have, so I want to play as long as I can. And then I want to focus just mainly on my family. I don't want to travel as much and, see how good my boys can get.
A very, very interesting story about you coming to Toronto. I heard about it, and I believe the line from George Karl when you left Milwaukee was, he said to me, I can't believe I was out-recruited by a tailor. And for those of us that know the foundation and your connections, tell us about how that went down, how you ended up in Toronto as opposed to being this close to being back in Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, I had originally in Milwaukee, still probably mad at me. I had agreed on a deal with Milwaukee.
You did get some booze there last year.
I still get them. I had agreed on a deal with Milwaukee, and I didn't sign the contract that was FedExed to me because there was a page missing. Well, while I was calling my agent saying, hey, there's a page missing, Butch was on the phone, called a tailor of mine in Charlotte, Kerry Mitchell, who called Jeff Hood, the executive director of my foundation, who called Sonia, who was to relay the message to me, don't sign, Toronto wants to make a deal. So in about a 24-hour period, I was pulling my hair out trying to decide, what to do because I'd already verbally committed to Milwaukee and said yes, and I said no. So it was a lot of hail.
So as always, you go through the misses, and I was told that they actually said to you, Sonia, don't let Dell sign anything till you get a chance to talk to him. True or not?
Yes, true.
And then what was your role from there?
Don't sign until you get all your information. And I remember seeing George Karl a couple of games after that, and I told him, I said, there's lots of shopping to be done in Toronto, so I don't know about Milwaukee.
Let us in on what happened when you went home that evening. You said you got the call, and it was such a hectic evening.
It really was. It was just all of a sudden I'm getting this call. I'm hearing about a great opportunity for Dell to get to play in Toronto, to actually earn the money that he's been deserving to earn, because over Dell's career, he's been involved in situations where he's given up money to get other players. And so one of the things that I've always been conscious of is Dell getting what he deserves. And so when this call came in, I was like, oh, Dell, you got to listen to this, you got to listen to this. And Dell being like he is, I verbally already said something. So he was struggling with himself and really letting Milwaukee down, but also getting the best that he could get in a certain situation. So that 24 hours, he sat on the floor, he rolled around, he called everybody we knew, everything. So
we know how sensitive he is from this issue, but a couple of the guys have told me, Michael Bradley specifically, the rookie, and Eric Montrose, when I asked them who some of the biggest practical jokers on the team were, the first name that came out was Dell Curry. Now, you know your husband, but is he really a practical joker?
He is. Dell and I, about a couple weeks ago, this is coincidental, I said, it was close to Valentine's Day, and why should I love you? And he said, I have a great sense of humor. So he truly believes that. And, a lot of guys, they, when I see them, they're always cracking and joking, and Dell's always in the middle of all of that. So definitely true.
Okay, Mr. Practical Joke Man, can you give us, if not your best one, the best one that we can tell people about on TV?
Well, Paul, I don't mean to take this personal, but if you wore this sweatsuit into the locker room, you would be the joke for about 2 days. No, I'm just kidding. But that's just some of the stuff that we go through in the locker room.
Sonia, I believe that's what they call killing people. Well, I'm hoping that I will be alive and survive another day. I want to, come on, hey guys, the rest of the Curry clan, I'm going to invite all of you back in here.
Who won the game? He did. All right.
Okay, Sidel, come on in here. Come on in here. Want to thank the entire Curry clan for being with us today. We had a great time. You're a great family. Both of you great role models as parents. Dell as an athlete, Sonia as a mother, and you guys are pretty lucky to have the parents you have. So for all of us here, and I will make sure that the people that own this company will give me a new sweatsuit. I'm Paul Jones, and we'll see you next week off the hardwood.
Thank you.
I rolling out.